Yo, 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 welcome to the show. I am Gus the Gamer. Today, I am joined by a dear friend of mine, the sexy, the buff, Davi the Dude. What's up, man?
What's up?
Today, we will be previewing, playing, talking about trying not to touch each other while playing, whatever. Smite. We will be playing Smite today. So if you're watching, sit back, relax, try not to touch yourself too hard because you are now gaming with Gus. Doo-doo-doo-doo. That's how I'm going to intro because I don't have a little jingle or graphic because I'm poor. So yeah. So yes, today we'll be playing Smite. And if you're wondering what Smite is a free-to-play MOBA. My friend, you have a lot of experience with MOBAs. Can you tell our very massive audience at home what MOBAs are?
MOBAs are multiplayer online battle arenas.
So what exactly is that? For those, obviously I know because I'm awesome. You know because you're awesome. But for those folks at home who aren't quite at that awesome level yet, who are just on the cusp of awesome, but not there yet, can you explain what exactly that is?
Obviously it's multiplayer, so you have two teams and you're gonna battle against the other team to try and win the game. So I guess in Smite there's towers and stuff in your way from winning the game, so you take down the towers and get to the Minotaur. When you defeat the Minotaur, you win the game. So the first team to do that is gonna win the game.
Okay, so basically we'll be battling it out, team versus team, in an arena. That's essentially what this is. The objective's clear. We destroy their enemy tower base or whatever, but we'll get more into that as we play. So first we're going to go ahead and take a look at the game types. Today we'll be playing Joust. Now as you can see here, we've got 4 tabs. We've got your practice, which we'll be looking at today. Casual, this is for people who want to play against other people. Practice is for, playing against the computer or the bots. Then you have competitive. You can only do this when you've reached the highest level or rank in the game, level 30. This is where you play the best of the best players in this game. Then custom, where you can create your own game. So we're going to go ahead with practice. And the 2 types available are Joust and Arena. You have jungle practice, but that's kind of a mode where you can fight the jungle creeps, which we'll talk about a little bit when we get into the game. So today we're going to be playing Joust practice. Now me and Davi are in a party. So in Joust practice you can have up to 3 people in your party. That means you and 2 other friends. If you're like some folks and you don't have any friends, you can play by yourself, which is pretty cool, but we'll talk about that more in a moment. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we will be playing against the bots, or for those of you who aren't familiar with that term, the computer, artificial intelligence. So Joust is essentially a 1-lane game. In most MOBAs, you battle it out in 3 lanes, and you're trying to take towers, you battle each other's champions. In this case, the champions aren't champions, they're called gods. So you battle each other out, and then you try and take the other team's base, essentially. There's something in the base you have to destroy normally in a MOBA. So for this, it'll be a Minotaur, and there's only 1 lane. So it's going to be me and Davi versus 2 computer-controlled characters. Now, what you see here is all the gods that are playable in this game. Now, in most MOBAs, you can only play with gods you have purchased or the free gods for the week. But in practice mode, Joust, which I think this is pretty cool, you can access any god in the game regardless of whether you own them or not. So this, I think, is a good feature because this allows you to get practice with certain gods. Would you agree? Do you agree this has some advantages in that aspect?
Oh, definitely. You definitely learn what each god is capable of, all their moves and everything. You'll be more prepared when you're actually in a game.
Today I'm going to go ahead and pick Hercules. Yeah, like you're saying, it gives you the chance to familiarize yourself with a god. So if you have points, like in this game you have gems and favor. Those are your those are your point system. Gems are essentially points you buy on their website with your real world money. And favor is what you earn from playing multiplayer battles against other people online. So this essentially allows you to test out these champions and get familiar with them before you buy them. Or if they're one of the characters that's part of the free rotation this week, if you want to say, okay, let me see how each of these guys play. I've never played them before. Let me go ahead and test them out, see how they work before I go online and get my ass kicked. So, as you can see here, we start off, we're level 3. We're in our home base. Here we are. Check it out. It's awesome. You can go ahead and bring up with the K key your moves list. Now, like in most MOBAs, your moves are activated with your Q, W, E, R keys, but in this game, they're activated with the 1, 2, 3, 4 keys, and we'll talk about why here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my moves, and then I'm going to access the item shop. So again, you bring open the item shop, and it has a recommended list. So if you're not very familiar with MOBAs or how this stuff operates, they'll basically show you, here's the things you should try and buy. And for the most part, as someone who's new to this, I've been sticking with the recommended, because I'm not 100% sure on the stats for most characters. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this stuff. Now, the reason why you have the 1, 2, 3, 4 keys for your moves and not the Q, W, E, R is because in most MOBAs, it's click to move. So it's top down, the camera's looking down on you, and you click with the right click, am I correct?
Yep.
The right clicker, and your character goes with the right clicker. Tells it to. But in Smite, you actually move with the WASD keys like any third-person action game. As you can see, the camera's fixed on me as I rotate my mouse. So does my camera. And also, auto attack is done with the right click. Now, as you can see here, we have a Minotaur. This is the objective, to destroy the Minotaur. This is our Minotaur, so I don't want to destroy him. Not like I could anyways. So the objective of the other team will be to come and destroy our Minotaur. Stopping them is obviously us, and then our 2 towers. As you can see in front of me, you have a Ballista Tower. It's just a simple tower. It fires arrows. And here you have a Phoenix Tower. And what's interesting about the Phoenix Tower is it can regenerate itself. So basically, if it gets destroyed after a short time, it can be reborn, kind of like the Phoenixes in lore. So it can be reborn, and that adds an interesting dynamic to the gameplay. So, like I said, the objective is to take the enemy's Minotaur. And how does that, in your opinion, as somebody who's a seasoned League of Legends player, and League of Legends, for those of you who don't know, is the top MOBA on the market. What do you think that having that Minotaur adds to the experience of the game? As opposed to just
it's actually really cool. It's actually like fighting an enemy, because you essentially are. It actually will attack you. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it puts in a new dynamic into the game. So, say everybody's dead. You're all out of minions to protect, but they are too. Essentially, the Minotaur can defend itself, so you're not necessarily lost at that point. So it can make things more challenging. Now, like I said, we're in one lane here. Look at the. I'm dead. That suck ass. If you look at the top right, one lane, and you have these side lanes. These side lanes are where the creeps hang out. The creeps are essentially just NPCs, non-player characters that sit there in those specific areas. So you see the orange arrow, the red sword, and the blue flask. They sit there and basically wait for you to come kill them. Now, obviously, they'll fight back, but if you kill them, you get a boon or a bonus, depending on which one you kill. So for the orange arrows, speed boost, red sword, attack boost, and for the blue flask, a mana boost. So I guess, depending on what character you are, I'm Hercules, so I'm more of a melee character, I'd want an attack boost over a mana boost. But my friend Davi here, he's Poseidon, who's more of a ranged magic type character. So he's gonna want that. He's gonna want that mana boost and attack boost. But again, we can both benefit from either or. But those are the ones that'll benefit each other more. So it also, you know, you got to think about play style. Now for this mode, it's fairly easy. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade one of my abilities. For this mode, it's fairly easy. I've never really needed to go get the booms to be more competitive at this. And we're about to attack this ballista. If we want to advance, we need to destroy this. But this mode's fairly easy, and I think what's pretty cool, and I did again, I say it's easy, but I'm getting my ass handed to me. For this mode, what I think is so cool is that you can play this by yourself, up to 2 friends, and you can really practice against the bots. And give you that kind of, you know, that easy introduction into the game besides a basic tutorial. Because I've never played a basic tutorial for an online game that just had me prepared for the multiplayer aspect. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is how you move. This is how you shoot. We're not going to tell you. You're totally going to get fucked when you get online. So it's like, you know, this is that option that, you know, eases the pain of getting just shit on when you get online because you're more familiar with it. My cousin tried this. He jumped right into the deep waters, got his ass kicked, and was like, oh, fuck this game sucks. And then when I started playing this, I was like, well, why don't you try it with me? Why don't we just give it a shot? Ease on into this. He was like, alright, and then we played it, and then we played on, you know, we played this Joust mode here, where you battle the computer. And then we played online and actually didn't do too bad. So, I mean, you know, we weren't awesome, but we weren't horrendous either. So, I think that's pretty fucking sweet. Now, I know League has a bots mode, correct? But how does the bots mode in League differ from this mode?
The bot mode in this, you have access to all of the gods. In League, you don't get access to all the champions. You can only use the ones you own or the free ones. So I like this one. I would say this one is better for learning all the gods, seeing if you would want to purchase one. And I don't know, does this one have a different difficulty setting for the bots? Can you turn the difficulty up?
Now, not that I'm aware of. I know they just updated the game. Actually, as of either today or yesterday, very recently, they've updated it. But I don't think so, and that's something that you mention it. And I'm going to adjust my sound settings on here a little bit because they reset when the game updated. That's something I'd like to see them add in the future. You know, I think it would add, again, it would, like for example, Call of Duty's offline mode, where you play the bots. You can have them like brain dead stupid, where they're just like shooting at the ground before they attack you, or you can have them like so hyper intelligent and so ridiculous that no human being could possibly have those kind of reflexes or aiming abilities. So it's like the challenge level varies, but you can get that kind of practice. So I'd like to see them add that for that sake, so you can ease into the game and slowly work your way up. And then it's like, you know what, I can take this on, I can do this on hard. Now I want to go online. Some people do that with console games, or or like a fighting game. It's like I can play Injustice on hard. Now I feel like I'm ready to take people on online. You'll find out most of the time you're actually doing pretty well against these people if you've had that kind of practice. So I think that's something they could definitely implement in the future. But as of right now, I don't think it's part of it.
Okay.
Very long-winded answer, but
that's kind of how League is. You can only play against beginner bots, and they're not, well, in a custom game you can only play against beginner bots if you just wanted to play by yourself. But there are intermediate bots if you want to go co-op versus AI. Okay. So just like some other people versus the AI.
Now, can you play it by yourself? Say you're just like, you know what, all my friends are at work, some are sleeping, they're sick, whatever, they're just preoccupied, they can't join me right now, but I want to play. Can I play by myself without having to worry about the raging assholes that are sometimes on the gaming community when you're not familiar with the game. They just flip out on you. And is there an option for that in League?
Yeah, there's a bots mode where you could just create custom games and play by yourself.
Okay.
And then there's also, of course, the co-op versus AI, which League starts you out now playing that until you hit level 5. So they try and ease you into it now. Before they didn't. They were like, you do the tutorial and you could either play co-op versus AI or you could play the real games. And most people would go into real games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and this game has that. You know, if you want to just jump in and you're like, you know, screw all that computer crap. I want to just jump in. I just want to try this out. I don't really care. And that's there too. And I think that adds to the flexibility of the game. This is a very flexible game. I think it can appeal to a wide audience. Not that League doesn't, but it does add that. For somebody like myself who just, you know, had a hard time with that with League. I've always had trouble breaking into it, like fully being able to sit down for a week straight and play a lot. You know, I'm not sure why. Probably because I'm just terrible at most PC games. But the fact that this gives me, oh, hold on, fucking ultimate, double kill. Anyways, double kill. Fucking shoot on him. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, this lets me ease into it and stuff. So I think that's why I've been playing this a lot. Because of that ease factor. Because yes, I like my games to be easy before they get hard. But that's just me. Not everybody's like that. You know.
Yeah.
So, and it offers that too. It doesn't. It's not just easy. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So as you can see, if you are a League player, there are some differences from League. Obviously, it's towers. But I think the biggest difference is obviously the way this game handles. Like we said before, this is a third-person perspective, as you can see, and you move with the WASD keys. I am dead once again because I suck so bad. But you move with the WASD keys, and I think that's another thing that adds to that ease factor, because most people are probably more familiar with that style of playing, especially if you're, you know, PC gamer or you're new to PC gaming and you're not familiar with the MOBA genre. You're going to be more familiar with that WASD movement. Or say you're like a strictly like, you know, you're just, for me, one of the first, you know, PC games I fully committed to and played a lot was WoW, World of Warcraft. And that's kind of like the movement scheme and everything like that. And now a lot of games I play on PC, WASD, that's how you move around, that's how you control. And then you usually click for your attack. So this plays like a lot of your standard action games for PC. And again, if you're not familiar with the MOBA genre, you suck at the click to move kind of gameplay like I do, then this is great. I mean, this is really awesome to just jump into it like this, because then you're already familiar how to handle the game. And a lot of times that's the big challenge. It's just, you know, fucking controlling your guy. 'Cause in League, that's my problem. I'm just clicking all over the damn place. My camera's sliding everywhere because I'm not experienced with settings. So I think that adds an extra layer for us, you know, shitty newbies that want to just jump into this genre, but are terrible with click to play. Now, this jousting mode in general, this, you know, this back and forth, the towers. What are your thoughts on Smite's joust mode? Having
It's
played
pretty good. It's actually, I mean, for beginner players, I would suggest it. If you're new to MOBAs or even just new to Smite, I would suggest doing a couple of these matches just to get the hang of character you want to play, or just the controls in general. Because I know trying to jump into this, if I would have tried to jump in and just go and do a match, I probably wouldn't have had that much fun with it.
Even as someone who's played League for a while and is experienced in the MOBA.
Yeah.
Alright.
Because one of the biggest things that helped me get better at League was knowing what all the champions did, and that's what this will help you do and figure out, is how all the champions or the characters work.
Oh, alright. Yeah, I think I'll just agree with you, because yeah, it's exactly where I'm at with this Joust mode. Now, as far as strategy, or I should say the way it plays, what are your thoughts? And by that I mean, like, you know, how the towers are set up, how we've got this Phoenix we just destroyed but can come back, or the Minotaur, how it defends itself and it hits pretty damn hard.
I would say the Phoenix is kind of similar to the inhibitors in League of Legends, but they don't defend themselves because they do respawn.
Okay.
As far as the way it's set up, it's kind of set up like League's newest ARAM mode, where it's one lane and you just battle it out. Of course, there's still towers. You got to take out the towers before you get there, but the Minotaur, I think, is the biggest thing for me. The biggest difference is the fact that it bites back and it will kick your ass. So I think that's a really awesome gameplay mechanic they put in.
Yeah. Oh, and also the fact that, if you notice, the Minotaur is really close to where you spawn, respawn, or if your starting point, and sometimes it can make a difference if you just killed a guy. Oh, we got it. Oh shit, he's getting over. Oh, my shit's on cooldown. Damn it, wait, F. One. Damn it.
Oh.
Fuck. Sorry, I just got killed. But as I was saying, like, sometimes they'll respawn. You're about to kill the Minotaur, but he's doing so much damage. You don't have any bots, none of your minions, I should say, that spawn, the little computer characters. You have none of them to kind of distract the Minotaur, and then they spawn, and then they drive you out. And I've been in a game where they drove me out, and they completely pushed me back and almost beat me, and I was able to come back and rally there at the end, but still, like, I felt like I was on the cusp of winning, and then it got to a point where they respawned, they drove me back, and then I was on the cusp of losing, and then it was a seesaw back and forth, but it added to the gameplay. It made it more tense and fun, you know. One of those moments in gaming where you're like, whoo! You just kind of take a sigh, you take a deep breath, all right, you know, in a good way. Not like, you know, you just almost got arrested. But I'm going to look at these creeps here. Now, like I said before, these creeps, they kind of hang out in these side lanes here. As you can see, there's these NPC characters. Now, being Hercules, melee, strictly character, I'm going to go ahead and take out these 3 Cyclopses. I think that's the plural for them. So yeah, and actually, if you notice in the bottom right-hand corner, it's actually giving information on the buff, which is actually new to the update. At least I don't remember this prior to the update that came out yesterday. Now, I killed him, the buff dropped. Oh, and I got it. Okay, so really you only need to kill that guy, but might as well just take these guys out in the process. Upgrade my ultimate move. Also, these guys respawn. The buffs do respawn after a certain time, and you can only have 1 buff per character. So you can't go through and collect all 3 buffs. So as you can see, my friend Davi here, who's playing Poseidon, has the mana buff. I have the attack buff. This will give us the advantage. Since both of us have a buff, neither of us are just going to jump in there and grab that speed buff, because it's, you know, it's not going to help us in any way, shape, or form. Get it. So right now, we're doing a lot of damage. Oh shit, my bad. I just knocked him out of here.
It's all good.
Oh. And that is shitty teamwork on my part. But yeah, can't combo the buffs. No one character's gonna run around. Did you get him? Oh,
Yeah.
Is Mr. OP and just get all the buffs. As you can see, we're really close to winning. If you look on the top right-hand corner, you notice that U. That is the U shape right there. I'm kind of like wiggling my little white dots area view on it. That's the Minotaur's health, so you can actually check. And the Minotaur's dead. We killed him. We're fucking flexing. We're awesome. But yeah, you can also check the health of the towers. So that allows you to see, you know, okay, how much more do we got? So that's a victory. Now, one thing to mention, you do not earn gems. Well, you can't earn gems at all. Those are purchased with real money. But you can't earn favor by competing offline, which is fair. I think that's totally fair, because then you could just earn all your favor offline. Well, I keep saying offline. I mean against the bots, because you need an internet connection constantly to play this. So, correction. You are not offline at any point in this game. You need an internet connection, but against the computer. So, when you're playing against the computer, you can't earn favor. You can't earn favor to buy gods. And they do have skin and voice packs. Those can only be purchased with gems. Also, you see this is goodwill right here. Goodwill is earned when you play online against other players. Same thing with leveling up. You can't level up, sorry, against the bots. You can only do that against other players in competitive modes. You can't do it in practice. So goodwill is earned like favor and your level through competitive gameplay. And goodwill essentially is just, I wasn't a total dick and left the game. So each time you play a match, from start to finish, your goodwill goes up. I don't remember how much, but it goes up until obviously 100%. And what goodwill allows for you is to multiply the amount of favor earned. So if you're, you know, say I'm at, because my math sucks ass, say you're at 50% goodwill, and you were supposed to earn 10 favor, by the end of that game, you'll have earned 15 favor. So, and the only way to keep your goodwill up is just complete the matches you're in. Now, it's not the end of the world if you leave a match. You know, it goes back to 0. At least I'm assuming that. I haven't actually left a match. And you can, you know, work your way back up. I've played literally 6 games. Actually, it shows you right here. 5 wins, 2 losses. I've played 6 games on, or 7. Derp! Like I said, my math fucking sucks. 7 games. Sorry, sounding like a dumbass. And I've earned 46% goodwill. That goes up regardless of wins or losses. So, you can take a look at your medals. All that good stuff. Chat bubble. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Like we said, the interface has just been overhauled, so this is all kind of new, and I think they updated the textures too, because these guys look a little more defined.
Yeah, they do look a little better.
So I'll ask you this. Being a seasoned veteran, being fucking John Wayne of MOBAs, what would you say this game like as a MOBA? And, oh, by the way, this game is in beta, so that means, for those of you who don't know, it's not completed. This game has not been fully released. Right now, we're basically helping the game developers test it. It's in a stable condition, you know, but at the same time, it's not complete. This is not the completed product. So with all that in mind, what we've just played, what you have experienced as a MOBA veteran, what do you think, or I should say, how do you feel this stacks up as a MOBA?
I actually think it stacks up pretty good. Based on the difference of gameplay, if you don't like the click to move, there's always this option. And as far as I can tell from playing it, I've had no problems, like no bugs, no glitches, anything to come up yet, and it's still in beta. I'd suggest to anybody, if they're like want to break into the MOBA, try it out. Why not? Give it a shot. It's free. It's not a very long download. It's pretty small. I think it was like 9 gigs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely, and it's different. It's not the same carbon copy MOBA. Like I don't know. I'd say a lot of them are the pretty much same. Top down, click to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this brings a little something different to MOBAs.
In a good way too. In a good way. Yeah, it's definitely the controls. I mean, the controls alone. Yeah. Concept's cool too if you're into mythology, you know, or even if you still worship these deities, because there might be people out there who do. This is cool. Unless this is blasphemous in some way to you, then stay the hell away. But all that being said, yeah, I agree with you. I think this, you know, my limited experience with League, never tried Dota, and I've been playing the DC Universe Infinite Crisis beta. DC Infinite, I'll just use DC for now. That is a lot like League. I think the reason it appeals to me so much is because I like the comic books. I'm a comic book junkie. But it's not much different from League as opposed to this, where it has a lot of differences. So yeah, definitely. It's, you know, and you can jump into this game being terrible at MOBAs like me and actually do pretty good against real people, not just the bots in practice mode. And there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of depth to this game. Other features too, but that's something we'll talk about later. So, with that being said, I think this game's got a lot of potential. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited for it to fully release. I'm also excited to see what new gods or goddesses they add. They just released Tyr. He's new. So, and he is rocking on his flag the same symbol that I have tattooed on my arm. I'm fucking cool. So, with that being said, if you were watching this, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you didn't touch yourself too much. I know we have very sexy voices. We hit that, you know, we just sometimes when we talk real low and we hit that bass, it just can turn you on. Ladies and dudes alike. So, thanks for watching. I am Gus the Gamer. I'm with Davi the Dude. And we are signing off. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.